Thought I do way past cool. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Woodfoot. It's currently like 3 a.m. right now, but yo, I was thinking like, y'all notice how everything done changed? And this is like, universe was telling me like, it's time for, people, like y'all listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Y'all gotta believe in yourselves, man. Like, self, man. It's mainly about yourself, yo. Yourself, like, y'all gotta get out there and grind. Like, never give up on yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Like, situations be tough, Trust me, as a star sheet, trust me, I done been through a lot of stuff. But the main thing about it is to believe in yourself, Tap into, you know, and it's gonna be times where you tired or you feel like, things is just like too much for you to deal with. But you gotta just keep that. It's like strength, man. Strength, y'all. Like, I gotta have strength. Like, strength is the number one thing that you gotta have. You gotta have strength, and you cannot be afraid to pray and to. You gotta have a relationship with the Most High. You feel what I'm saying? With the divine. You know what I'm saying? With God, Source. You gotta have a connection with the Most High. You feel what I'm saying? Because for me, to get through everything I've been through, bro, it's just been. It's just because I'm ruled by self. Like, you just. You gotta be able to just learn how to get through things, Because I feel like like back in the day, it was never nothing about no spiritualness, like nothing about spirit, energy, none of that. It was just about, being who you are, living your normal life, going outside, hanging with your friends and stuff like that, being in at a certain time, because curfew and, allowance and all that stuff. But nowadays, it's like the world done shifted. And I know, y'all sensed it. Like, it's done changed dimensionally. Like, it's like, at first, it was like the fifth dimension was like, it was an ascension process that was going on with the whole entire world, the realm that we living in, right? The society realm that we living in. First, it was the introduction of spirituality and things like tarot, things that were forbid or demonized back in the day, because all those things are tools, like divinity, like for divinity and mediumship and things like that. Like, this world is really based upon those type of abilities. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's people who don't have a connection to that demonize it because they working against it. They using those practices of the powers that we have. Like, for example, the powers I just mentioned, like all the gifts, like the clairaudient, clairvoyance, claircognizance, stuff like that. They using all those powers for themselves, but in a wicked way, So it's okay for them to practice that behind closed doors and ask for low vibrational, dimensional beings to help them and assist them in controlling the people and the masses, But at the end of the day, you gotta address the elephant in the room. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of just pure evil people. You feel what I'm saying? That just really exist in this realm where they actually want to see people down and out. But that's besides the point, because you see that a lot. But what I'm really on top of is the topic of seeing the shift. Where there was more people reading about tarot, like I said before, gems, you know, um, crystals and stuff like that, oracles, But y'all need to know, a oracle, really oracles back in the days, um, I feel to say that, like this part, like that movie, remember that movie 300? It was that purpose of the oracle being a really, really beautiful woman, but having a dark soul and being easy to possess and be taken over and be compromised by the wicked is true. You feel what I'm saying? It's because, notice the women today are more promiscuous. There's a Jezebel spirit, a contingent woman. I think it's the incubus. I'm not sure which one is the female. The incubus. I think it's the incubus or the succubus. I'm not sure which one is the female one, but it's those spirits taking advantage of women. Also, with the men are being tempted by lust and temptation of the flesh. You feel what I'm saying? And but you gotta know, I'm a person who honestly made a pact with the Most High to never have, sexual intercourse. I haven't had sexual energy exchange in about 3 to probably going on 4 years. And trust me, I've been seeing the change, you know, in the world, because I'm not a part of the matrix, because I see, and it kind of like, that's all another video. But this one is like basically on seeing how the world moved more toward a spiritual realm, where it was a blending of the 3D and the 5D, but now more so it's the 5D of an ascension because people are more telepathic, more clairaudient, and more like intuitive, and empathic and stuff like that, and I'm channeling, and it's like basically those are the gifts, and people who are coming from other realms, from other star systems and constellations, and they're being blocked by the wicked ones, by these agents, these chemical agents, I'ma call it. That's what Spirit told me to say. These chemical agents, like for example, like these vaccinations, these what's them shots you gotta get when you go before you go to school? They giving them shots and stuff to kids, and that's dulling, that's like nulling down their gifts, because they are reincarnated, the incarnations of other, ascending beings that's going to help this world ascend to a higher realm. But anyway, that's that. And but I see it, more people starting to become vegetarian, eat more plant-based, that's the shift, because animals aren't actually, there's a certain specific today, because the animals aren't to be consumed today, because the Most High Divine and the Most High God knows that the animals today are like not healthy, they're not good to eat, so the best thing you could rely on is the green herb, the green vegetables that come from the earth. That's why the wicked ones tainted the food as far as the meat wise, the poultry, and they also tainted the vegetables because they don't want you to be able to rely to that either, to where you just really eating off the land, and they also even went as far as to taint the soil that you grow your crops on, then they put all of these damn legislation laws and stuff like that for farmers to not be able, and then it's just a lot. Y'all see it though, y'all see the restrictions because it's the wicked ones, bro. But their time is up. Their time is up, because they was allowed to rule for a long time, but they went too far. You're supposed to what they're doing, like they was allowed to do what they're doing now, but they're not allowing the people the right to restore themselves. You feel what I'm saying? And that's against universal law. You feel what I'm saying? And that's where there's a huge battle or war where these beings that's on this earthly realm, this plane, they trying to fight to stay in power, but it's what's that word? Inevitable, where they can't stop it. You feel what I'm saying? It's something that's gonna happen. The shift is gonna happen. So don't mind me all around the place with it. But I had to get up and channel this and tell y'all this though. Also, I notice how now, since 2025 started, the world is already split. There's always a divide. The spiritual conscious, spiritual intuitive beings who are like light workers, healers, star seeds, intuitives, and stuff like that, empaths and stuff like that, and whatever spiritual gifts you have, we're all in like a different type of world or realm, if you will, versus the low vibrational people who are like more like addicts, who narcissists, who people who take advantage of other people who are greedy, envious, jealous. Those type of people are on a different realm or a different frequency or vibration. Us light workers, people like us, we're on a higher frequency, and that's why it's important for us to, stay protected and protect ourselves with our armor and use our weapons, But yeah, But y'all see it though. And just believe in yourselves, man. If y'all need help, surrender to the universe, ask God for help. Pray to your ancestors too, you know. Because they are real. God is real and alive, you feel what I'm saying? The Most High, you feel what I'm saying? Divine, whoever y'all believe in. Because it is real. Let's trust and believe. There is a war going on. But for me, I feel like I'm not going to give the enemy no weapons, you feel what I'm saying? But no knowledge, nothing. But just believe in yourself, because spiritual attacks is not what you see. Like, for example, it could be like, say you trying to, you know, you got money and you trying to save. A spiritual attack would be something that you always, you always end up spending your money on this or all the time. You feel what I'm saying? That could be an attack, knowing that it'll be for your best good or your best interest to save money, and that's what you're trying to do. But a spiritual attack could be like something coming up to where you're always spending money or having to. You feel what I'm saying? So, and don't tell people what y'all going through or what y'all, you know, what y'all trying to do. Keep it all to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Remember this quote: "Words are silver, silence is golden." On that note, I'ma holla at y'all. That'll do it. Past cool. It's your boy Woodle for signing out. A channel message. Love y'all. Love and light. Peace.